Welcome to part 7 of the Give Me God of War tutorial for the hardest mode. And this fight took me a little bit over 9 minutes on my successful attempt. I did die once, but it's an easy fight. It's similar to what you dealt with the single giant earlier. Except the only difference is you have some enemies that will spawn and try to fuck with you during the fight, so occasionally you will have to deal with them. I'd recommend getting rid of them when they're around. See, things get a little close here. But that's because I wasn't playing it safe. I was going up to the giant and fighting it with the axe. I did use the rage mode, which is safe, but then I continued to strike him with the axe. It's a lot easier if you just keep your distance and use axe throws like I showed with the first appearance of this giant. And also just dealing with these enemies as they appear. I think sometimes they drop health as well, so it's good to kill them. Plus they can cause a lot of problems when you're trying to deal with the giant. So it's always better to get these guys out. Since they have projectiles, they'll just keep throwing fireballs at you the whole time. And they're easy to kill, so that's really the only main difference with this fight. But you have a huge area to run around with. So, in some ways, it may even be easier. I can use this landmass here. You see, I use it to keep it between me and the giant, and eventually I'll be running back and forth behind that landmass, and the giant will stay on the other side of the landmass. As long as you keep changing directions, it'll confuse him, and he'll just keep going back and forth. And while he's doing that, you can throw axes at him and use your rage mode. Rage mode as it builds up. Plus it gives you some health back when you use it. So do that and pick up the health pickups around the area if you need them. But I mean, it's an easy fight. It just takes long. It's another easy endurance match. So there's not really much to say about the fight, but I figured I would make a commentary version of each encounter, so I'll continue to do that for now. But yeah, you can of course speed up the fight if you go right up to him and fight him directly with the axe, but you can die really easily. You end up spending more time on this fight if you die a few times. If you're getting his life bar down like halfway or 3/4 down and then you die by fighting him with the axe, then you repeat that a few times and it ends up taking you longer. So this is definitely, I would say this is more efficient. Unless you're, really confident with being up close to him. But yeah, like usual, you can use these rocks to get behind and give yourself some shelter. This giant does have an attack where he can make fire come up out of the ground from a distance, so you're never really safe just standing still, because it can go through various obstacles. It'll come up from under the ground, so you got to be careful about that. So mainly just keep moving, but if you keep this landmass between you and the giant and just keep moving back and forth, he'll get confused and he won't come around the landmass if you keep doing that. And then when the rage builds up, just focus it all on the giant, since the other guys are really easy to kill, so they're not really going to be that much of a problem. Kill them when you get a chance, but I try to usually take them out whenever I see them, just to get rid of them, because they can always cause problems. So yeah, I guess I spent a total of maybe 12 minutes on this fight, because I died once when I had some of his health down. So I got it on my second try, and then after that, there really wasn't much combat in the rest of this video. But I do show where there's another apple for your health upgrade. So If you don't know about that, it's right in this area, but if you don't know how to get it, I show how to do that. because it's important to get those in this mode. So, but yeah, most likely you will already be familiar with it, but I'll try to show them. So yeah, there's maybe one other encounter in this video, and it's just a single enemy, so it's almost not even worth showing, but I just try to show all the encounters that I come across. The recording maybe took me around an hour or something like that, but that was because of all the cutscenes and exploration. I've been trying to explore the areas thoroughly, and there wasn't any combat in a while. So this was all that got recorded in maybe an hour, or maybe it was 40 minutes. I'm not sure, but I'm limited to like what I can record on the console, an hour at a time. So it's usually whatever I can get in an hour that shows up in the video. But once I learn how to combine videos, then I can make the videos longer. I think that'll be better. But for now, I just edit down the hour of footage 1 hour at a time, and whatever's left over. Since it's combat focused, there's not a lot of footage in some of these videos. I think if you go through that area, you may actually be able to skip this part and jump down there. It seemed like you could, because I saw some XP appear or something. You might be able to leave this area. But I'd recommend killing the giant and getting the experience points. And you probably want to get rid of him anyway to get the chest for the apple. I'm not sure if you can get the apple while he's still alive. I don't know if the game will let you do that. I didn't try it. But I wanted to get the XP for killing the giant. Plus, if I remember right, I think you get a really good attack or something for killing the giant. I think it might be a runic or something. So it's actually worth killing him for that alone, not even considering the experience points. So I definitely recommend. I don't know if you can skip them. It doesn't seem like you can really skip enemies in this game, so maybe you can't. But I'd still recommend doing it. There are some optional fights that you don't have to do, but I try to do them anyway when they're in the main story, just to get the experience. But yeah, by now you pretty much will have the idea of this fight going back and forth in this landmass, throwing the axe, using the arrows, and you can skip to maybe about 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the video, and that'll show you where the next where the apple is. It's right in that chest, but it'll show you how to get it. It's very easy to get. But if for whatever reason you don't know where it is, that's where it is. After some of the encounters in the previous videos, the next few encounters have been a lot easier. So the game, it's possible that, it'll have periods where it gets easier as I get more powerful and more familiar with the combat. But then it may spike up again towards the end with the harder enemies. I'm not sure yet what the arrangements are going to be and what the fights are going to be like later. Depending on my armor and things like that. Depending how many side missions I do to power up. As I've mentioned, I'm not really big on exploring and shit like that. I like to just go straight through games. So, it is possible at some point I will dedicate a few hours just to doing, side activities, exploring and picking shit up. Just to get more powerful. But it'll probably depend on how much trouble the game's given me. But I may just do it anyway, just for insurance. But yeah, that's it. It's an easy fight. It's just kind of long and tedious. But it's similar to the strategy I showed on the first giant. It's only slightly harder. So yeah, I didn't show what I picked up there, but I think you get a runic attack or something like that. So definitely pick up all that shit after you kill the giant. Which, I'm sure most people would do that anyway. It's just, kind of a natural instinct in these games to pick everything up. So yeah, you just throw the axe at these 3 things really quickly, and that's it. Then you get that. And that's, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I have another video that I'm waiting for to upload. Then once it uploads to YouTube, I have to download it, edit it, add the commentary, sync the commentary with the video. Then I got to re-upload it back to YouTube. So that's why it takes a little while sometimes, because I got to wait a long-ass time for the PlayStation to send over the file to YouTube. It takes a while. That's the longest part. Then I have to wait for it to be in HD quality, you know, and then I can upload it, because otherwise it's really low quality. But yeah, this was just one enemy encounter. I just showed it because it was just part of the game. So stay tuned, and thanks again.